Here we go. 2, 3, 4.
Foodlifeblow.com.
Louisville Free Face is an incredibly interesting internet oddity and an exemplar for early internet web design. You may have picked up on some hints about what the site is all about. I'll start this off with a note from the owner himself. Free Face, brought to you by George. To all of the beautiful single women in and around Louisville, this page is for you. I'm a man whose favourite thing to do is give oral sex to attractive young women. I love it and enjoy pleasing the women that I know and meet. I know that every woman is different, and I've been out of practice for a while. Since every woman is different in her wants and needs, I am offering free oral sex to any woman who qualifies that emails or signs up. No matter how good I may have been told that I am at my hobby, I know that everyone needs to constantly practice at everything they take pride in doing. This site is designed with the women of Louisville in mind. I need some partners to practice with, and women who will give me honest feedback to any services I perform for them, so that I may be able to hone my skills. It appears this website is indeed a means of George here to advertise his public oral sex services to women in the Louisville area. There are of course terms, however, as there always is. Sensibly, term 1 is that women must be of legal age, must be clean and not smell bad, must be disease-free and do a test, must be single or in an open type of relationship. George must find you cute, and if you had a good time, George asks that you let your friends know about the experience and requests that you might supply him with some kind of referral he could include on his website. Unfortunately, there are no referrals to be found on any of the Internet Archive listings. However, he does thank those who have given him feedback within his privacy policy, so perhaps he simply just chose not to include his clients' testimonies, or they opted not to share it. One question does remain though. Who exactly is George? Leslie George Kistner III, born September 2nd, 1980, and of course from Louisville, Kentucky, is, or was, a 6 foot, 184 pound male with dark blonde but dyed hair and a fair complexion, with a tongue piercing and a single tattoo of a burning sigil of Baphomet on his chest. He states that he has an IQ in the range of 132 to 163, with 2 degrees in accounting and science. His hobbies include weightlifting, giving massages, giving oral sex to attractive females, reading, intelligence puzzles, nature, vampires, the gothic scene, video games, and religions that employ the use of magic. He was at one time a dedicated and initiated Wiccan priest in the Coven of Uncharted Waters, and he is also an ordained minister with the Universal Life Church and can legally marry people in 48 states. In earlier snapshots of the site, he also stated that he was an official member of the Church of Satan and advertised the fact that he has 2 misdemeanors for possession of marijuana and another 2 for speeding, as well as having 2 felonies for complicity to armed robbery. Although, these are removed in later versions of the site, perhaps indicating he wishes to distance himself from his past. Although he did keep the fact he has a sigil of Baphomet tattoo on, so perhaps there's not. Internet Archive has snapshots of the site right up until February of 2020. So the site was clearly online for a long time since its inception. However, at some point between December 2010 and January of 2011, George updated his relationship status from single to taken and unavailable for this work right now, which is how it remained until its closure. So for much of the site's lifetime, it was likely only up for archival purposes. There is still an active GeoCities site, however, which may have been forgotten about, as it still contains the original information and claims that George is single. The site was seemingly at least somewhat well known around Louisville, There are individuals on Reddit who claim to have known of, or at least seen George out and about, claiming he seems to be a nice enough guy and finding the website funny. And the same person who claimed to know him in this Reddit thread also claimed they believe the website is very likely sincere in its efforts to facilitate sexual favours, rather than being anything satirical. The site was also well known enough to be covered in a Vice article in 2009, although they were rather sarcastic in their coverage. Whoa! A pasty, faded, magenta-haired, near-fatty, tattooed with a scary, flaming, betitted, bewinged and behorned devil in front of a pentagram. And he's not charging for his services? I believe it's in the eye of the beholder to say whether George is based or incredibly creepy. To me, this site, along with this long post on Louisville Mojo, attempting to justify why females might find him attractive, that he loves hugs, and stating that he is mostly friends with women and wants more female friends who can help him kill the batteries on his new vibrating tongue ring, absolutely comes across as a desperate plea for female attention from some nerdy guy who is trying to game his way into sexual favours. But it could also just be that George was drowning in pussy and simply wanted to provide a public service to his community. We may never know.